You use the word, you use the term psychological time. This is difficult to comprehend. Why do you say that psychological time is the source of conflict and sorrow? You use the term psychological time. This is difficult to comprehend. Why do you say that psychological time is the source of conflict and sorrow? Let us consider together what is time. Time by the watch, time by the sun setting, sun rising, time as yesterday, today, tomorrow, that tomorrow may be 100 years, and yesterday may be another 100 years backward. And the time today is that we are sitting here listening. That's time. Physically, in the acquisition of knowledge, in so-called evolution. To learn a language, time is necessary. To become a physicist, time is necessary. Drive a car, time is necessary. Right? That's obvious. Is it that we carry this idea of time, which we have established naturally, logically, because I need time to learn a technique? Is it that we have carried over this principle of time into the psychological world? You are meeting my point? You understand? Are we meeting each other? Or am I talking to myself? Right. I'm asking the question. One realizes time is necessary in acquiring a skill. Is it that principle we have carried over into the psychological area? Or psychologically, time exists for itself. Not that we have carried it over, but time as a process of evolution psychologically, time in itself exists. You follow it? Please, let's be quite clear on this point. Is there psychologically in itself, intrinsic in itself, time? Or we have carried over from the time element that's necessary in learning a skill to the psychological world. So that there are the two problems. You understand? That is, psychologically, does time exist per se? Or we have introduced it? Because we have been conditioned to that. Therefore, we react to the psychological world in the same manner. Clear? So, it is obvious that we need time to learn a skill. Clear? Now we are asking, is time inherent in the psychological structure, psychological nature, or thought has brought the element of time into it. Are we following each other? Ce n'est pas trop difficile, hein? Is it too difficult? No. Huh? Right? May I go on? Picture. Let's go slowly into it. I hope you are also working, not just listening. And we are coming to that, sir. One moment. We'll come to that, sir, please. It's all right, sir. Take time. Have patience. Patience has no time. Impatience has time. Right? When you're patient, you're silent, listening. But if you're impatient, say, let's get on with it, time element comes in. Of course, obviously. So please, let's look at this sensitively. Not say, you're right, I'm wrong, and so on, but sensitively, let's approach this question. Has thought introduced into the psychological realm the whole idea of time? Or, in the very nature of the psyche, time is? First of all, psychologically, thought, which is part of the psyche, thought has introduced time. I am this, I will be that. I am angry, I will get over it. I am not successful, but I will be. All that movement is time. The distance covered from what I am to what I shall be. The space between me as I am and as I will be. So time is what is the space to be covered to achieve that. So the whole process of that is time. I do not know myself. I must learn about myself, educate myself. The same thing is operating as in the world of skill. I'm going to learn about myself, which admits time. Right? So we are asking, time is a factor of thought. Thought is the response of experience, knowledge, memory stored up in the brain. And that memory response, which is thought. This is an obvious fact. If you had no experience, no knowledge, you'd be a state of amnesia, or whatever you like to call it. But because we have accumulated great deal of knowledge, psychologically, and that is stored up in the brain as memory and thought. So this whole process of accumulating knowledge about oneself, learning about oneself, and gradually building information about oneself, all that implies time. That is psychological time and time by the day and by the watch. Chronological time and psychological time. Again, that is a fact. Now, apart from that is the psyche inherent in the psyche, this element of time, that is being and becoming, right? I'm only putting it in different ways. Is there inherent in me, which is the psyche, this question of time at all? Please don't jump to a conclusion. That is, in me there is a timeless state. I'm not saying that at all. That's the old tradition. We are not saying that. We're just asking, is the me free of time? Right? Obviously not. The me, my family, my nation, my character, my capacity, my loneliness, my despair, my whole travail in existence is me. The me that's going to die. The me that lives. Going to the office, laboratory, factory, whatever you are doing. And all that is the activity of thought, including the me. The me is my form, my name, the image I have about myself if I have one, the things I've done, the things I want to do, etc., etc. All that is me, which is my consciousness. That the content of that consciousness is put there by thought, which is time. Right? So there is psychological time, which is the movement of thought, fear, pleasure, pain, suffering, joy, so-called love, all that is the movement of thought. Thought being memory, space, time, the achievement of it. Now we are saying, please bear with me, we are saying that the psychological time is the factor of conflict and sorrow. That's the questioner says. Why do you say that? As we've been pointing out during the talks, that thought is the root of fear. Thought is the root of pleasure. I have had pleasure yesterday, remembrance, and the desire to continue tomorrow. That is the movement of thought. And sorrow. Sorrow, as we said, is the essence of isolation. Sorrow is the outcome of self-centered, egotistic activity. We're only putting it differently. So thought is responsible for this. And thought is time itself. Of course. So is it possible to be free of psychological time? Because that divides. And where there is division, there must be conflict. Like the Jew and the Arab, like the capitalist and the totalitarian, division between me and another, with my wife and the husband, and so on, so on. Wherever there is division, there must be conflict. That is law. It's not my law, it's there. So, thought, time, space, psychologically is the source of conflict and sorrow. After examining it, is it possible for thought, please listen to me, for thought to realize its own place, which is in the world of technique, and has no place psychologically? Please don't reject it, just look at it. Psychologically, time exists when I have an image about myself and you tread on that image. That brings wound, that hurts. That is the element of time. Now, if I have no image about myself, it's finished. Is that possible? Living in this world, married and all the rest of it. That is, please, that is to have psychologically no tomorrow. It is not, when Dante talks about all those who enter inferno leave no hope, it's not that at all. You know what I'm saying? Why do I have hope? I'm not saying you shouldn't or should. Why do we have hope? See what happens. I have a hope to be a great man, whatever it is, my hope. And I'm working for that. And I may fail. It generally does. Then I get bitter, angry, violent, cynical. And violent, cynical, bitter, I'm adding to the confusion of the total consciousness to that. I'm maintaining that. Right? So if I have an insight into this, the image disappears entirely. You might ask the speaker, are you glibly talking about it? And have your own private, secret image. I know you're terribly interested in that. This question has been asked, I don't know how often, in India, in Europe, in America. And each time that question is asked, I'm very aware, not easily answered, which is when I say there is no image about myself, either you say that's nonsense, Or you say it doesn't matter to me as long as I have an image about myself, right? You understand? It doesn't matter if you have no image about yourself. Who cares? But what is important is to find out how to live, not how, to find out if it is possible to live in this terrible world, dangerous world, criminal world, to have no image. Find out. Don't say it is not possible, or say it is possible, then you're, but to study the image that you have and have an insight into it and end it immediately.